Welcome to the Tradiewife Life podcast, brought to you by Tradies in Business, where we talk to tradie wives about their goals, their challenges, their hopes and dreams, and how their trade business can help with that. Hello, listeners, and welcome back to the Tradiewife Life podcast. I, again, am joined by another phenomenal guest. I've got this huge run of fantastic guests running your way. I think I've got like 3 or 4 interviews this week alone, so we're really batching it out as we come into Christmas. My guest today, though, is another one of our clients, Tara. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I need to set the scene, though, before you say hello. Tara is sitting in her office. She has a daughter who is
Just
about
turned 2
years old on her lap. We're recording this in a half an hour slot that she has before she runs out the door to her other job, where she works as a midwife. Hello, Tara. Thank you for joining me.
Good morning, Nicole. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I appreciate you fitting me into your very busy schedule. And lovely Tilly being so generous with her sleep cycle so that she can be asleep while we record this today.
I think she's been a bit unwell the last couple of days, so it's probably pushed that sleep a bit earlier than normal, so helpful.
Yeah, I think it actually speaks really well to the balance that many of us find ourselves facing when we do what you and I were talking about off air. We jump in and just help out in the business in the very beginning. And we're so often, in fact, I would say probably 80% of the time, the ladies that we talk to find themselves in that position while they're on maternity leave.
Yeah.
And they think, oh, I've got a bit of time up my sleeve with kids. Hello, that doesn't even equate. And yet that's what we do. I might jump in and do X, Y, Z to help my partner out in the business. And in your case, absolutely. In your case, it's led to a whole second career for you. So I'd love you, Tara, maybe if you could start off with telling us a little bit about you and the business that you and your husband, Brad, have, and then speak to that journey that we were just discussing.
Yeah. I'm Tara. I've got 3 young children, 8, 6, and 2-year-old. My husband has had his business for 3.5, 4 years, and I obviously joined, as you said, when I was on maternity leave. My husband found you guys on Facebook and started listening to podcasts and thought that he needed a bit of extra support. Mm-hmm. And I was listening into some of the stuff and I thought, oh, that sounds pretty good kind of thing. And he's like, oh, well, you can help too if you want. So I thought, why not? I'm still on maternity leave. Let's just extend it a little bit longer and get you with the ball rolling, not unintentionally wanting to assist you, just to, assist him to be the best that he could be. And yeah, initially I was helping in the business. I was on maternity leave, just helping him while I was going to go back to my other career. But there was a real shift. January, February this year, my husband said, why don't you go meet some of these other tradepreneur clients and members and see what you think? Because I was in 2 minds about owning the business, because it does at times get overwhelming having your own business. There's lots of responsibilities. The buck stops with you at the end of the day. And if you don't do a good job, people tell you about it. And if you do a great job, people just go, wonderful, thanks. But they don't always tell you either.
So true.
And anyway, I came to Melbourne for a 90-day planning session, and I met some amazing people, and I met you and and it's just been snowballed from there. I've changed my mindset. I now have a second career. I am the communications and business manager for our company. And there's been a real mind shift change. It's really changed the way that I think and how we act. We've got processes in place because we're obviously a small company and looking at expanding, but we want to make sure we've got the correct policies and procedures and processes in place, so when we do expand, someone can jump on board and not feel like they're just joining Joe Bloggs down the road. Actually joining a community kind of.
Tara, your mindset shift was huge and extremely visible to us on the outside looking in. And I wonder if, and I've spoken to a few of the ladies about this, where we make those decisions to be more invested in the business and what the business can create for our families. Yeah. That can come with a fair bit of emotional turmoil, though, because we become very attached to the identity of being a midwife, or in my case, the identity of being a buying group manager, or many of us have other careers that we've had and we're attached to that part of our identity. And I wonder whether that was a real internal battle for you, or if it just felt really natural when the time came.
I feel like it still is a bit of a battle, and it still is a bit of a mind shift change. But I feel if I can help my husband in the business, we can actually be there for our children a lot more. So working in the business has enabled me to also be around for the children more.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have been back at work and missed some sporting commitments or missed school excursions, where being in the business, you can have that bit of the flexibility to go to after school sporting commitments or prioritize your work a little bit better. As a nurse and midwife, I've got to do shift work. So there's times when I'm actually absent from the family in the afternoons or overnight, which then can impact the next day, but working part-time in both at the moment for now, I feel that it's balancing really nicely. Like, I'm able to take my children to school, and I've been able to ride the bike to school where I wouldn't have had the energy if I was trying to work.
No. That is so true, isn't it? And perhaps that's not something that I feel like I've ever spoken about before, is the way that mindset shift of deciding to be committed to the business first and foremost, as your secondary career, can create other positive outcomes that we don't always think about. So we tend to focus on the time and the money. We talk a lot about the money, and clearly for you guys, there's been a shift in the finances to the extent that you're able to take time out. You guys had, it was a whole month, wasn't it, in Tassie earlier this year?
Yeah.
On a break. You guys have done quite a bit of other travel, but we don't talk about the energy management. And I feel like that's a really valuable thing to touch on here, and something you've even triggered a reminder in myself. When I, jumping into my business, I just helped out for a while doing the bookwork and stuff until I decided I actually really hate bookwork and gave it to somebody else anyway. When I then reemerged in the business, it was through a crisis. And so I didn't have the opportunity for energy management or to do the things you're talking about, like being present for my kids. It was more just dealing with the particular crisis as it came up. And then in time, when we had the structure set up, I had a whole bunch more free time that I hadn't counted on being able to have. And I don't want to sell the idea that this is the holy grail of, if you jump into the trade business, you're going to end up with bunches of free time where you can go out and have coffee with your girlfriends, or you muck around with the kids, spend time with the kids. And it can create the energy for you to be able to take advantage of those opportunities when they do arise, with the support of the business in the background, because you've set it up essentially to run without you anyway.
Yeah, because even I've been able to take some time for myself. I do Pilates twice a week for an hour, and that can be at 6 a.m. in the morning, but that's the time I've got. That's kid free, but it doesn't affect me because I feel like I have to be flexible and spontaneous. So I don't do the same thing every day of the week because I just don't have that structure in my everyday, day-to-day life, which my children now are very, very flexible and spontaneous, and able to do things at the drop of a hat without having too much fuss. You just need a little bit of preparation and they're good to go.
Incredible, isn't it? As a super skill. So I think the energy management is a great place for us to stray into here, Tara. I know, and many of our ladies are the same when they first come and they're talking to us about the opportunities they have with their businesses. They're exhausted and the tradies are overwhelmed, and they're generally working ridiculous hours, 70, 80 hours a week, trying to work harder because that's going to fix all of the problems. And what we see and you will remember, we were at conference just, what was that, 2 weeks ago, not so long ago, we were all at conference. And the energy in the room, with the exception of the day where everybody had large hangovers, the energy in the room, though, was quite incredible for a bunch of trades people to be able to sit around for an entire day and do lots of learning. And yet the energy management was really quite intriguing to see, and being able to create the time in your business as well. Tara, apart from,
I feel like that's a bit part of your part too, though, Nicole, because you guys built up a little bit of energy subconsciously and maybe not realizing, just little key points throughout the day, having everyone, I don't know, vibe check, kind of just, in creating a positive atmosphere and allowing people to just relax.
Yes, it is. It's definitely something that's done consciously when we're at a conference. However, what I see is that's dovetailed then into their day-to-day and week-to-week, like you're talking about here. Like, you wouldn't have had the energy to be able to ride the bike with the kids to school or from school. Are there other, I guess, less talked about benefits that you have found with your opportunity here in the business?
Oh, there's been so many other opportunities, but different kinds of opportunities, like meeting people. And we did a really big job earlier this year that actually won an award just recently for being the best golf tournament in the world in Adelaide because we did all the picket fencing.
Wow.
5.5 kilometres worth or 600
Wow.
million metres of timber. And without the confidence and support of the tradie and business community, I feel like we would have said, no, that's a big job. We're not going to take that on board. But we hired a warehouse. We got a crew of 6 other people to work with us. I got on the tools and learned how to router. There's just little things that you just sometimes step in and do and learn to do. And I feel my husband's pretty good the same. He likes to respect that I can do things. But then if I'm bit of an expert in that, he'll listen to how I do things, same as he tries to teach me. I was trying to work out the other day going to do a quote, and he said, just think about where the studs in the wall would be, and I'm like, I don't know what you mean, can you explain it? And he took the time to explain where that would be, which for me, that doesn't have any of that background or knowledge how to build things, now makes sense.
So Tara, being involved in the business, has that had a positive or a negative or no impact on your relationship? Has it changed it at all?
Bit of both. But the thing is that we recognize that it has, if there is a negative impact, that there's negative impact. So we have tried to create date nights. So I've had at least 2 date nights since starting the business, but I know we plan to have another one soon. But little things, we know that obviously because you're with each other, you might not see each other, even though you're around together more.
Yes.
And just learning to switch off at the end of the day, going, right, business is shut, you're not at work. And actually voicing that, saying, no, the office is closed. We're not on office time. Let's not discuss office projects for now, which I'm not very good at, but my husband is.
He's probably had a gut full. And yet you're probably just like, I've got all these questions. I really want you to answer so that I can do the next bit of what I need to do. I recognize that in myself very, very well. Tara, when you consider this is a big leading question that I have not prepped you on, and maybe for our listeners' benefits, I should tell you, we don't prep any of our guests. Occasionally where we have a big guest, their team, their marketing team perhaps might want a bit of an understanding of what we're going to talk about, but I don't have scripted questions. None of this is scripted. It's just all off the cuff. And so
I was thinking I should prep a little bit, but I just haven't.
No, let's not prep. Let's just do it like any other thing we do. So when I ask you this question, Tara, this could go either way, and it might be good and it might be bad, and forgive me because I'm asking you a big question now. This is me prepping you for the big question. Have you had any thought about you've got 2 careers, both are fantastic and rewarding. Have you landed upon or begun to consider what you might like to do with the 2? Is it something you'd like to continue running the 2 side by side? Or do you feel there'll be a time or a point in one of your careers where you think, okay, it's time to let go of that one and focus on this one?
I feel like I just keep thinking, oh, I could start this as a business now. Oh, I could do this as a business now. I feel like I have all these spontaneous little side hustles that I want to start up.
You're a very busy lady. I don't know how you even fit the thinking time in for all of that.
I don't know. Like, I feel like there's lots of little things that I really enjoy, and it's actually not that hard running a business, and it's not that hard to be good as long as you've got the processes in place and then you tell people what's going on. And it's made me, I remember because my husband's he's got a bit of background history in set building for movies and big events. And sometimes he goes, oh, it's just a blue screen. It's not real. And now when I go out and see other people's business, I think, why don't they do that? They could just cut corners there. And, it would make so much easier. There's all these secret hidden gems that I never knew that were in a business that exist. And it's just the little things sometimes, people opening the door for you when you walk into Faster Pasta or, just little things. And you go, that makes a big difference.
Yes, to the customer experience. I agree. And I think it's a bit like, when I think about a trade, we talk about this often, but let's twist it around to your side, Tara. So being a midwife, you have all of this innate understanding on how to help a mother deliver a child. And you also then are able to assist the others in the room for that to be a collaborative experience for the mother. Yeah. And you know all these invisible cues, and you know all of these markers, what the data, you have factual data in front of you that allow you to make decisions so that you're able to facilitate the experience that the mother is looking for to the best of the situation's ability, of course. I think running a business is exactly the same. Mm-hmm. And you were taught all of that information to become a midwife. Some of it is intuitive because we are women and we've had babies ourselves. And a lot of it is stuff that you've been taught, right?
Yes.
I think
Yes.
being a business owner is exactly the same. It's something that needs to be taught,
Yes.
because you can't just immediately know that you need a people system for the people that you're hiring in your business. In fact, you need a people system for the two of you in your business, even if it's only the two of you. You can't know that unless you're taught that, and it's not something that is actively taught.
Yeah.
So, Tara, I wonder, with the way, so we see a lot more of you than we see of Brad, which is pretty typical of most of our clients, that many of the clients love being on the tools and they don't want to give it up. And so they in turn keep working on the tools, which is great. We've no problem with that. I'd love to understand how your experience with taking what you're learning and bringing it to Brad, what does that look like? How has it been accepted? Does it ever create tension, or is Brad always willing and ready to take it on board? Because it could be quite confronting, because until you came on, it was just him basically in the business doing it his way.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes I ask him things too, because I don't know, when you're doing quotes and things like that, you go, what is this? How are you think? I feel like we complement each other. So we build on each other's strengths. So if he builds out the quote, I'll go through and grammar check it and make sure that it's spelled correctly and looks pretty and lines up nicely. Or, some of the things he leaves me to, which people go, oh, love your advertising team, but I've actually been doing all the marketing that we've had on our Facebook socials and that, and I don't have any experience in that, but it's been working and people have been commenting on it. So obviously I'm doing something right there. And then other things I leave him to, but sometimes he needs an assistant. So, I can go give him a hand on the tools and push the wheelbarrow or little things like that, which is nice, because then it's like a date. You get to hang out together.
Yeah. I actually like on the tools time myself. It's good fun.
Although I'm not keen to drive the excavator. Yeah.
Oh, now, Tara, there's your challenge for the back end of the year, to get into that excavator and give it a drive. At least one go. What could go wrong? Brad's super proud of you. And actually, well, the pair of you were very emotional at our recent awards night. It is my favorite memory of the whole of our conference and awards night and social activities, was just how much the award, I'm going to talk about the award meant to you. It was just so touching and beautiful. And I think it highlights to me how important you have become in your business, and how a simple recognition of what you've been doing can really help, I guess, address what a huge role you play in your business. So for our listeners, Tara, we had some coaches awards this year. We've not done them before, but we did do them this year. And one of the awards was for a rising star. And I'd like to talk about how Tara has embraced this opportunity since she had a real mindset shift. Tara has gone on to host other new members in her home. Tara's in South Australia, and we have a couple of members
this week again.
Wonderful. So when the opportunity availed itself, Tara welcomed some of our new members into her home so they could work collaboratively together. Tara is everybody's champion. She's always there with a supportive word. She's like the other mum of our group, who is there for a supportive word and a cuddle and some time when necessary, always a friendly ear. And for us, the shift in your headspace is what has, seeing you now create these holistic business outcomes is what has given you the opportunity to take out the Rising Star Award, because you are very much the rising star in our community. And as I said, my most favorite point was how proud Brad was of you when you received that award, and the beautiful words that happened after. In fact, I think I shared with you, but maybe I didn't. It is the most commented on photo that I have on all of my socials, and I have a lot of comments, and it blew up my Facebook. You winning that award. That's how highly held you are in esteem with your friends and family. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And so I wondered.
I just wasn't expecting it, Nicole. Like, you work so hard and you put your butt off to do all this, and you think, are you spending enough time with your children? And you always think, am I doing the best for my family, or doing the best, for your friends, or are you doing the right thing? And, and just to get recognition for that, I just was not expecting it in the least.
I'm glad it was a big surprise. Has it opened any other doors for you, Tara? Has it contributed to a further headspace shift, having that recognition?
I feel like it's converted my headspace even more, knowing that I'm obviously doing the right thing, assisting Brad in his business. And yes, I love being a midwife and helping those, like, new mums, bond with their babies and things like that. And that's something I feel like I still don't want to give up yet. I still enjoy that quality one-on-one time that you can give them those early days. What you say to them might make the difference and might make the mum that they're going to be in 20, 30 years down the track.
Yeah.
There's, it's, I don't know, tricky to kind of say the balance between the two, because they're two completely separate things. You can't compare.
Yes.
But then I can see, like, working for such a big organization, because I work for a public hospital, you can see how, like, such a big company can grow and support their workers and their staff. And who knows what that will look like in 10, 20 years down the track.
It's fascinating. You've got so many opportunities at your fingertips. Tara, what is next for you and Brad and your company? What have you made some plans about what the next 12 months to 5 years look like?
We would really love to expand our team and outsource a few more jobs, just to free us up a little bit, to have a bit of free time. Allow Brad to have a bit of time off the tools, to be in the office, because at the moment he's more on the tools, and so the office time is when the kids go to bed at night time. So just trying to reduce that strain a little bit, so we can go to bed at a reasonable time, or just watch a movie, not feel bad that you're not quoting a job, or things like that. So
fantastic. I see some big things ahead for the two of you. Tara, thank you. I'm going to keep to my promise and keep to time, so that you can get off and do all of the things you need to do. Mum life.
Thank you.
#Mum life. Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate you sharing some of your journey with us.
That's all right. I'll just let you know, I've been feeding my baby the whole time we've been having this podcast. So
That is the truth of the life as a mum and a business owner. And somebody who has a career as a midwife as well. You just have to do what you got to do to get stuff done.
Yes.
Thank you, Tara.
Thank you, Nicole.